Comics Plus, what is going on? My name is Akasan, and we're about to talk about the thing everybody loves the most. And no problems, never any controversy. By visionary director Zack Snyder, the Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So, more information about the Snyder Cut. Apparently, the Snyder Cut will not be a 4-part miniseries, but instead, they're going to release the entirety of the cut as a 4-hour movie. Let's go ahead and take a look. This comes courtesy of comicbook.com. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a 4-hour movie and is not a miniseries, says director Zack Snyder. Despite reports to the contrary, HBO Max will not release Zack Snyder's Justice League as a 4-part miniseries. Instead, Snyder himself confirmed via Vero that HBO Max would release the Snyder Cut as a single movie with a 4-hour pre-credits runtime. With a solid 4-hour pre-credits runtime. Jesus Christ, man. The director also confirmed that a poster for the project and the release date would be revealed soon. The Snyder Cut is nearly complete and will release sometime in March on Warner Brothers' streaming platform. Zack Snyder's Justice League sees Snyder finishing his version of the 2017 Justice League movie, which fans campaigned for years to make happen. Still, Snyder said previously he didn't expect to ever see it become a reality. It was an interesting experience, Snyder said during an appearance on the Comic Book Debate YouTube channel. I got to say, I never really thought it would happen. I've been living with the prospect that it would never happen and fine with it. And I'll be honest. I made peace with that fact that this was the world I was going to be in. It was going to be a situation where this was a movie that I never really finished, and I have my cut here at the house, and if you want to see when you're over, you can check it out, but that's pretty much it, yeah. I don't know what sort of accent that was. That's my impression when I hear him talk sometimes. But we got to the point where through a lot of hurdles and back and forth that we come to the place where yes, the movie, you're allowed to finish it and do it the right way. And that's pretty cathartic and a beautiful moment that I shared with my family. It was really an impossible dream come true. Thank you. Be here all day. Snyder brought back the Justice League cast to shoot 5 minutes of additional footage, and reworked many of the film's visual effects shots. The production of the 4-hour cut cost HBO Max an upwards of $30 million. Okay. So it's around $30 million now, not $70 million, or whatever. Or was that the original? For the reshoots, for the Whedon cut. It isn't easy going back to the vault. And there's a Snyder Cut sitting there to put out. HBO Max head Bob Greenblatt told Vox Record podcast in May, it does not exist. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Some people aren't going to like that. It does not exist. Zack is actually building it, and it's complex, including new VFX shots. It's a radical rethinking of that movie. Oh, really? And it's complicated and wildly expensive. I'll just say I wish it was $30 million and stop there. There's a enormous undertaking and very complex. Wow. Okay. So he wishes it was okay. That's kind of two different sides of the story, but whatever. All right. So there you have it, guys. I guess confirmed that we're gonna get a 4-hour cut of the Snyder Cut. Oh man, I'm just gonna keep on repeating the same thing I've been saying. My personal opinion, I'm glad it's coming out. I'm glad the Snyder Cut is coming out so we can stop talking about the Snyder Cut. Basically, if it were me, personally, I don't think that's a great idea to release a 4-hour cut. Like, you gotta imagine. Let's just say, like, okay, Netflix is an easier way to go about it, but let's just assume that you're using HBO Max. You're one of the, I want to say one of the few people, whoever has access to HBO Max, right? And let's just say you're casually just going through this. You see this thing called Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? And then you also are going to have the original Justice League. And I'm completely assuming that side by side, you're going to get the original poster, the whole Beatles are, not Beatles, Queen reference, with everybody on the image, right? In color, right? And that's the original cut that came out, which was around less than 2 hours. But then right next to it, when you're searching or whatever, when things are being recommended, right next to it is going to be Zack Snyder's, and I'm assuming this one is going to be a black and white cut. Maybe not. A black and white poster, black and white thumbnail, right? Now, something to keep in mind here, the average person is going to look at this and be like, wait, so there's a Justice League one that's around 2 hours, and now there's Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is an extended one, which is 4 hours. So, my biggest concern is like the average person is going to be like, well, I didn't really like the first Justice League, so let me go ahead and, why would I want to watch a longer version of that one, right? So I think that's going to be something really challenging that they're going to have to sort of explain and see if people, even the average person, even cares. You know what I mean? If anything, at least cutting it up into 4 parts would have kind of sort of advertised and fed into the typical demographic that does so well on streaming platforms. Every Friday, we're talking about whatever's on Disney Plus, whether it be The Mandalorian or now WandaVision, right? It's trending every week. It's going to be in people's heads for a long, long time, right? Versus that one movie that Martin Scorsese put out. I honestly didn't hear anybody talk about that movie other than the fact of how long that movie was. That was it. It was hot, trending for a minute, a weekend. But the only thing I ever heard about that movie was how long it was. Nobody ever talked about the actual story. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest, cards on the table, I never watched that movie because of the length. I was like, it's so hard for me to sit there for like 2 to 3 hours. Unless we're talking about like a huge situation, like you're building it up over 10 years, like Endgame, right? So I don't think this is the best direction. They definitely should be thinking more in terms of the way every other person is doing it. Most importantly for advertising, you really, for all this work to get the Snyder Cut up there, you really I feel you'd want a solid month of advertising every Friday or whenever it drops to get trending each time, each episode. When part 1 comes out, oh man, that was great, great, Snyder Cut trending. And then people start tuning in, they're like, okay, what is this? Yo, everybody's talking about it. This just happened with Attack on Titan. Today is my Monday. Every Monday, it's always people are always talking about Attack on Titan, and it gets general people, our casual fans, kind of interested. They're like, damn, should I watch Attack on Titan anymore? Personally, I feel like that would be the safest thing to do with the Snyder Cut. If that first weekend does well, and then that second weekend does well, other people are going to be like, damn, people are really talking about that Zack Snyder. Should I give that a shot? Should I give it a shot? You know what I mean? Thank you for the host, Struggle Drax, with the birthday. So I think that's something that they really should keep in mind. Why not release both of them, honestly? Is there really anything that they're taking away from HBO Max right now? Now, one thing to keep in mind that somebody brought up that I thought might be interesting is the fact that one of the reasons they might be trying to put the Snyder Cut out as soon as possible and as a 4-hour cut instead is because of the fact that HBO Max has now shifted their focus to focusing on their prime real estate, which is their Warner Brothers movies are going to start being released simultaneously. So we got Kong versus Godzilla in March, which is around the same time the Snyder Cut's coming out. Some other stuff that just was advertised. Mortal Kombat. All of these movies are going to start occupying HBO Max. So some people, they might feel like the Snyder Cut would get lost in that shuffle coming out. I completely disagree, because I definitely feel it's better to be talking about the Snyder Cut weekly, every week like that. But, personally, I also feel like, why don't they just release both? Why don't they release part 1 through part 4, and then right after that, when that's all out, release the collection or something like that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It'll be very interesting. Now, in terms of watching it, I honestly, as someone who is somewhat interested in it, that kind of turns me off a bit. I definitely won't be watching that in a whole sitting. That's for sure. Can you imagine? That is long. That is long, man. You can sit through Endgame. Well, to be honest, and I'll perfectly honest, as a Marvel fan, it was actually very hard to sit through Endgame for the 6th time. During New Year's Eve, watching that, even watching it New Year's Eve, it was hard to sit through it because it was just like, this is long, so I don't know. Personally, that's my opinion, and I don't think this is the best idea. I'm not opposed to them releasing it as a 4-hour cut in the future, but in terms of just trying this whole situation and all this money that they're putting into it, I'm very surprised that they're taking this direction and not staggering it out instead. People, hardcore fans will complain about it, but, I think Disney Plus and Netflix and Amazon, they've all shown huge core examples of why staggering that stuff out works better in the long run. But, oh well. Hey, Red Red Nation, stand up, speak up. Let me know what you guys think. And let's not even get into the whole reaction side of this thing. Like people are gonna be so mad. Like, a 4-hour cut is gonna get condensed down to 10 minutes. Like, because it's not fair use. That's a myth. But the average thing that people do is 10 minutes, right? Could you? We can cut down 4 hours into 10 minutes. That would be. I was completely comfortable with the idea of releasing a 4-parter thing, so that's 40 minutes total, right? But we'll see. We're gonna see how this all goes, man. Oh, and not even to mention Patreon as well. I was just easily gonna just release the full reaction on Patreon, but yo, 4 hours, man. Red Red Nation, stand up, speak up. Let me know what you guys think about this. And you know, like Negan is saying right here, as long as release please hashtag release the reaction cut. Negan says, as long as the movie has my attention from beginning to end, I don't mind the length being close to 3 hours or a little over like Endgame. I agree with you. However, based upon Zack's previous work, based upon Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, I highly doubt that'll be the case in terms of captivating. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of just movie moments of people just talking and just kind of character development, but a lot of stuff that I feel in all likelihood should have been omitted, right? This is going to be a very love letter. If it takes 4 hours to tell a story, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. There's so much to unpack here in 4 hours. Let me know what you guys think. We're out. Peace, y'all.